Hello, Salesforce peeps. How you doing? We're here finishing up the part 2 of Intro to Beatbox, Python, Salesforce.com Web Services API module. When I last left you off, we were looking at the login response. I actually just ran the login to SF module, which means my login and password are saved here. I'm going to do login response equals svc.login, login to sf.mylogin, login to sf.mypass, and I put my security token in there because I'm accessing Salesforce through I forget the term for an external program. Okay, so now I've got login response. Print login response. Print x in login response. Wow, it's getting late. 4. Print x. Remember, we've got 5 of those. So I forget what each of these is. So like, let's print login response 0. That's the false. This second one is this is the, I believe, the server URL. It might be the metadata server URL. Oh, how do you do this? I found a place. This is actually, it's almost like a dictionary. You can do print login response. What is that, server? Key error. No, I forget how you do that. And this is obviously not going to work because it's not a string. Yeah. Server URL. Yeah. See, and that's the same one we got as when we printed out the second one. So that's the server URL for making web services API calls. This is interaction with the actual data, the records, not the metadata, which describes your environment, which is what I'm still trying to figure out how to directly interact with through Python. But so let's get a look at some of that actual data. So here we go. I'm going to take a look at, this is pocketsoap.com/beatboxes examples. Here you can see we've got, where does it tell you? Here we go, on the top here. It tells you how to describe globals, right? So we want to create a variable called dg equals, how about we get that viewable? There we go. Equals svc.describeGlobal. And that is a method. I can't select it. This is a method of the client function. Let's go ahead and run that. What is DG? Print DG. All that stuff for X in DG. Print X. Alright, lots of goodies. Now here's what I'm interested in. We don't have any custom objects yet. Okay. I equals 0, because we're actually going to look at the indices of the DG variable. So I equals 0. For X in DG, print I comma X. Yow! Constantly do it, huh? For X in DG, print I comma X. I plus plus? Can you actually do that? Wow, I guess not. Cool. I want to look at, I know they give you a bunch of sample data when you start out a developer edition account, possibly when you also start up your production Salesforce instance. And we want to create sample data that's going to specifically pertain to us. I might as well go and show you how to make a query since we've got sample data here. So let's look at everything in the cases table, right? There's a kind of like a PEMDAS order in which you need to delete data when you're deleting stuff. For instance, if well, when you try to delete it, like let's say you try to delete an account that has a case associated with it, it won't let you until you delete the cases associated with that contact or account. So let's go ahead and make a query right now. Here's making a call to a query and printing the results example. Okay, so let's go back here. We don't need to know the index number of DG, but I'm just curious. That's going to be 15. Case comment. So let's do this. We're going to make a query to the case table to, so let's call this case query equals svc.query. Alright, now here's our query string. I always like to do this. Alright, and I like SQL syntax. I like to capitalize stuff. Select ID and name from case. Caps lock's a little hard to get on MacBook. From case, and that's it. Actually, how do we get the fields? You know what? So before we do this, we want to describe this object, right? How do you describe an object? Let me tell you how to help Beatbox. Here we go. Let's look in client, which is I know where it's going to be. Okay. Describe layout, which takes in an S object type. So let's try to case describe is going to be svc dot describe layout. That's going to take self and the object type, which is case. Oh, no news is good news. Print case describe. Excellent. Electronic, electrical. What is all this stuff? What did I want from that? For x in case describe, print x. For x in case describe, print x, just the first one. Okay. So what we wanted here is the field names of the case table, right? So we could figure out what we wanted to pull in the query besides ID and name. Oh well. Anyways, we can just make a query with ID and name for now. Somewhere in this, I mean, all the information is here. What for x in case describe, print x, you know. And oh, wait a minute. Cancel. For x in case describe, for y in x, print y, and then separate line. So we can look through here. Ooh. Here we go. Print x and then print y. So to system, to additional. This is the first time I've seen the number 2 truncated to stuff. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Let's just go with case query equals svc dot query. I'm going to get a raw data string in here. It's going to be select ID and name from case period. End quote. Go. Now, oh, invalid field. No such column as name. Interesting. Okay. How about we just pull... Everything's got to have an ID. Okay. So, case query, that's a result. Print case query. Alright. For X. Oh. Print length of case query. 29. So we've got 29 cases. Let's take us to the case table.